Hello and welcome to the Minetrek.net game server. This will be update 44, I believe, for the Enterprise E build. M. Heller had to take the server offline and perform some much needed maintenance and repair some hardware components, and the server was down for a couple of days, but it seems to be back up and running as smooth as ever. Anyways, I'd like to show you a little bit about what's been done on the Enterprise E here. Not really a lot, but some work, and it's kind of integral, so Anyways, this lower deck here, quite a bit has been filled out through it. Torpedoes are placed in. Rooms are all fleshed out. More torpedoes. Roofs have been placed. A lot of the detail stuff has been through here. Both I Panic myself and M. Heller have put some time in on these lower decks to try and get them as fleshed out as possible. That being deck 29. Of course, depending on what version of the movies you watch, and ship goes between 24 and 29 decks. I really recommend you watch a couple of YouTube videos about how the ship gets explained. It's quite funny to figure it out. Let's just say Hollywood. Anyways, here's deck 28. A real quick tour of it. Now deck 28, as you can see, is kind of split into two parts here because, well, it's the way it had to be done. Anyways, you come back through here, you can see that whoops, we got a couple of blocks and stuff like that. I don't like leaving empty blocks, but I'm told if I go and leave some airspace, and airspace is considered a block, so whether you fill it or not, it doesn't really matter. I like to fill them. That way there I know nothing goes there. Anyways, got your cargo containers and stuff like that all filled in through here. These are parts of the escape pods, and this is one of the things you can see here is it actually steps down, so that's kind of why this deck is split the way it is. Anyways, M. Heller had to do what she had to do to get it all taken care of. So, anyways, some more empty space here. I'm going to fill that in. It seems like I'm always filling in this empty space through here. This empty, plus with this empty space, we know that if we ever wanted to, we could always plumb something through there, but I don't see any reason for it yet. We still have to put in the main tractor beam systems right here, but for the most part, this is the tractor beam emitter thingy, majiggy sort of kind of thingy. Get down through here, obviously it's tractor beam or something to do with it. So we got to put some stuff in here. So there's a little bit to do on this deck 28. And I'll buzz on up here to deck 27. Quite a bit more to do up in here, as you can tell. It's mainly down through here. It'd just be like crossover machinery and some, support stuff for the antimatter pods, which is these beautiful things right here that were designed for the Sovereign, or excuse me, for the Voyager. I keep saying Sovereign. I built this big ass thing myself. I'm pretty proud of it. It looks pretty nifty. And of course there's the bottom of the warp core and all the stuff that goes with it. Come over here and you can see that a lot of the support struts have been placed. I did these the other day. Sure, they're gray, not brown, but I did gray because, well, I forgot I need to do brown, but I don't want to go back and replace them. Gray's just fine. Gray works just fine. Also fits in with the area. And besides that, brown, brown's got its purpose, gray has its purpose. And that's my line. I'm going to stick to it. As we buzz up here, you might hear some loud noise in the background. That's just my roommate playing with the vacuum because he knows I'm recording and wants to be a piddle. Anywho, because I already vacuumed today, I don't always vacuum a second time. Anyways, we have power lines going up here. I left them open so you can look up and see. Through here, we could go down inside of the deck here and give you kind of a tour a little bit, but I think you've seen the inside of the Enterprise E quite a bit. It's got a nice little layout going here. Got nice rooms here that still need to be filled in. These are life support systems. So I already have life support systems that I can put in here. I just haven't put these in here. I could have swore I put these in here though. I thought this was more than one deck tall. Let's get back in here and see what we got above it. Nope. It was only one deck tall. But no problem. We have life support systems that will fit in there just fine. But that's one of those areas that got to be finished as well. As we find them, we do fill them out. A lot of the smaller stuff through here, like this room here and that room over there, they've all been filled out. So we're getting there slowly but surely, and we'll audit each deck as we go, and areas that aren't done will get done. Here we are up to deck, I think, 26. Don't mind the magenta, it will eventually get changed out once we figure out. And I'm not really sure what this is. Aft sensor cluster. Okay, so this will be sensor systems that will be set up in here. As you can see, we already have power and everything else routed through it. Nice of me to do all this. Yes, I am very proud of myself. I am thinking ahead. Then this over here, I'm not really sure. Probably just be dead space or support struts along this side here and back through here, unless that looks like, it doesn't look like anything that needs to go there. But so those will probably just be supports and things. We'll fly along the side here, take a real quick tour, and get a little lag spike there. But again, all my systems look appear to be okay. those leg spikes come and go. I've talked about them in other videos, so I won't waste your time here. Anywho, as you can see, a lot of this upper area here has been done. Henceforth, by being done, I mean all of this stuff here has been filled in. With the exception, we don't have torpedoes yet. These will probably be filled in later at the latest. Now, I don't know why this is blank. I think it may be blank. Might just be a boo-boo. So I'm going to go ahead, or somebody did it to get into the ship at some point. But I'm going to go ahead and fill those in so that they're not causing problems. And I'll go ahead and fill this spot here in. This, of course, is the torpedo loading system that goes all the way up the ship and to the port side, or starboard and port sides, the outer hull. And again, you know how I am. I don't like having any open spaces. I like a sense of completeness. My OCD demands it. So my OCD, it's my addiction to completeness. Who knows? Anyways, all this stuff through here is completed. I'm going to leave that there. And trying to figure out if there's something in here I wanted to show you or not, and it doesn't look like it. We got a couple empty rooms with no idea what to put in them, so they're still marked white and have nothing in them. Eventually those will be figured out and filled in. They're new rooms, that's why they weren't originally labeled, because they were added after the initial M. Heller audit, where a lot of the rooms were labeled. Anyways, I've added in these big systems back in here, and filled in a bunch of the materialistic stuff like this. These are, I believe, force field generators for these big hatches. Come back through here, got a nice big cargo bay. Some areas in here have been filled out. Also filled in quite a bit along this deck here as far as corridors and stuff are concerned. And we got our little central, I guess you'd call it a shaft, engineering shaft. There's a name for it, I don't know what it is. Working my way around to show you some of the intricate crap I pulled off. Alright, we got a force field generator here, and then we got power lines that run along this way here into this big system which I built recently, and back along here over to this side. Yay, but if you look, you see little connector points right here. So it comes up to here and it feeds into here. And then we have this whole system around here with connector points to here and then around, and then it feeds up into the space up here between the lower hangar deck and this dead space in here. Basically it just comes along in here. If I can get over that, flies along in here. Now if I could remove all of this right here because this covers it up, but I'm not going to. Comes back around here and then comes back out over here around into this room, which is slightly different than over there, because over there of course is part of the parking bay, whereas over here is not. And then again we have a routing system that comes back around here. This took some time to path out, by the way. I'm glad M split the ship into little pieces because it makes it a lot easier. And the pathing goes all the way back around here, all the way back over in here. You gotta take a big leap of faith in some areas, but you know, it is what it is, you know. Do what you gotta do. And it feeds back into here. Now at this point, this actually kinda goes down into the underneath here, then comes back over, and at some point it comes back up into here, but it's all tucked up underneath in here and flies along up here. It's kind of like what this is right here. You see how that is? And comes back, and then it drops down and feeds into this Jeffries tube system right here, and down along here again and back to there. So it's a nice, everything's all interconnected. It took a bit to do, but that way there we have power conduits on both sides of the ship, aft sides, and I was able to, by doing that, able to route this conduit to here and this one to there, and then it goes up from there, it goes up into these rooms here. You know, kind of like this stuff. See how it comes up and all this stuff here. It all, this part of the floor, this is actually a floor right here, carpet sits on top of that, and this here is covered by carpet. But since I did some work, carpet disappeared. Come through here, and all these rooms in through here are labeled, well, mostly labeled. Some of them, it looks like the labeling's falled out. Cargo bay, atmospheres, force field, pressurization. Actually, that's being handled by the system, I believe, is below us and to the aft, but this will be a secondary system, so there'll be a small one here as an auxiliary, which is kind of good. Well, you got to have auxiliaries. And then this is more like a rec room, I believe. Yeah, this is a lounge because there's a large head right here, and that could actually be shortened down That's really a big head. But then again, big heads are fine. People like them. All through here will be support bracing, and then we're into the crew quarters. And these are all, uniform crew quarters. So we went with uniform crew quarters because it just makes it so much easier when you're designing things. If you design a specific style for a bathroom, it'll fit in every bathroom throughout the crew quarter system. Same thing if you design a basic bedroom setup, it'll work in all the bedrooms. Same thing with basic, lounge or crew area inside of the rooms, living space. It'll fit and work in all of them. So plus it also looks so much nicer having uniform as opposed to like on the D where it's all kind of jagged and not uniform. Yeah. Then we have this big room here, which is another lounge. So quite a bit's got to be done on here. I am not the kind of guy that can set up crew quarters. That's for darn sure. And here he's got a little bit different. There's a room right. This is the bedroom, and then this here would be the bathroom, change room, sock drawer room, whatever you want to call it. So this is a slightly different style than what we've seen previously. And I'm not sure why I did. Oh, because of space. All this through here will be filled in with braces as well. And same thing with up through here. Look at this deflector dish. When you see it, because in the show it looks flat and all that stuff, but I think Mad Squirrel did this. He did a really nice job setting the offsets and stuff. But I think he was the last person I know that was working on this. So if anybody else has worked on it since then, kudos. But yeah, that looks really nice. These rooms here, I'm not sure it was in here. I could have swore I got. Oh yeah, this is part of the slipstream drive or transwarp drive. But anyways, part of the deflector stuff goes into this room here, much like it does on the Voyager. Same thing over here. So make sure all that's in there and all that goody stuff. Fly around up here, get a nice view of some of the new blocks, some of the new systems and things like that as well. All this stuff is, these are mostly sensor clusters, I think. Let's take a look here real quick. Yeah, sensor systems. There are very different types of sensor systems on the ship, so it has multiple types of sensors. So they're a little bit, some of them are a little long, some have used different blocks, different styles, things like that. What do we got here? Another lounge? Cool, another lounge, awesome. Stairwell, cargo bay, and it was sort of a kind of an afterthought. M posted a sign here about a doorway being here, so when I went ahead and set this cargo bay up, I said, you know what, let's leave that as a door, because yeah, it seems kind of logical they'd have a door there, but yeah, it is what it is. We could always like shut this off and extend this Jeffries tube to here, then kind of have it wrap around to do something else. So turn this into the new "You're not in Montana anymore" window, which again was just a set piece. It wasn't really referenced as to where it was on the ship, so we kind of had to figure out a place to put it and then hope for the best. And no matter where we put it, we weren't going to be happy with it, so we just sort of found a place and put it there and then let it sit for a while, and everybody sort of said, yeah, I guess that'll work, and that's how they ended up being where it's at, which is a couple of decks above us. Anyways, that's pretty much it. Again, not a lot's been going on. I think the last video we talked about changing the roof in the hangar area and about how we should leave part of it there, but go ahead and update that little section over there, but leave the rest of the hangar roofs alone. But then the server went down, so I think it was down for about a week, maybe a week, 7-10 days. Week is 7 days, so about 7 to 10 days. And then after that, it's been up. We've got a little room here, which would probably just be like a couple of monitors and some techie stuff goes in there, part of the Jeffries tube system. I could put another doorway right here for this, but I think we got one right here, so having one right there is kind of redundant. It's not needed. We won't do that. And then this is another head. I really could have swore I filled in all these lower ship heads, but yeah, you see there I got a little bit of a leg spike. Again, I am using quite a bit more of my cores, so something is either running in the background or something, but up to 70% of my CPU usage, which is quite a bit. So this has taken quite a bit to render. What I'm almost wondering is if I'm actually running Minecraft using my 770 GTX card, or for some reason, and this just occurred to me, if I'm actually using my Intel HD graphics. I need to check that, because if I'm using HD graphics, it would explain, well, my temperature's going up on my GPU, so I must be using the GPU for something. Anywho, I will check that though. All the space through here is exterior, so it doesn't need anything. Then we have the struts in place for the pylons. This took some time to do. And again, it could also, inside of the pylons here, we could have systems set up like we do in the Voyager too. Mostly storage tanks and things like the small storage tanks. Anyways, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch. And again, this is the Minetrek.net game server. And have a great day. Bye-bye.